hand with Armageddon sun. Hand in hand with Armageddon sun. In case you're wondering what the fuck you've done. If I told you a million times, I told you once. The lake of fire awaits if that's what you want. Hand in hand with Armageddon sun. In case you're wondering what the fuck you've done. If I told you a million times, I told you once. The lake of fire waits if that's what you want. Welcome to another horrid, despicable episode of the apocalypse. The time is at hand, the end is nigh. I'm sorry I did not choose it, you did. There are but two paths, two choices, two avenues, if you will. Only two, and you must choose. There can be no indifference. It is not allowed by the man or the imp. For the point, the moral of this incident, all shitty thousands of years of it, is to see who's who, to separate the wheat from the chaff. Which are you? Look no further than the gospel you believe and are preaching. Is it of the imp? Or is it of God, of Christ? Path 1, God, Jesus Christ, goodness, decency, justice, the law. Path 2, the imp, the Antichrist, the false prophet, the apocalypse. World War III, Armageddon, plague, unspeakable plague, the lake. Choose now. Congratulations, you have chosen the apocalypse. And since you have unwisely chosen the apocalypse, you are in urgent need of a guide. Unfortunately for me, I happen to be that guide, your humble guide, Nicholas. So good to see you, a bloody gayin. Well, they sent another section of Reich criminals out today to be murder apologists for the Reich and ask you to tone down your rhetoric. Can you bloody believe it? You know who else asked the population for such a thing? Adolf Hitler. The goal is for it to become illegal to be against the Reich or critique the Reich. Just lay down and let them murder you. That was the message offered by the pock-faced hag. And the misery that is Tom Homan, who takes bags of cash in back alleys on film and then denies he did it, and has the audacity to lecture us on what is right and wrong, what the law is and what the law is not. Mr. Fat Bags of Cash in back bloody alleys. That is the moral compass we are supposed to follow. Let's begin. Okay, the Norwegians are letting the world know again, and in the clearest of language, that they hate Donnie shitbags. And Norway, Norwegia, those peoples, I don't fucking blame you, man. I don't blame you at all. It's totally understandable. So they made sure before they gave the Nobel to give a little, a little caveat to it. We want to give it to someone that represents, dignity, morality, decency, goodness. They didn't word it like that, but that's basically what they said. And what they were saying when they said that is Donald Trump embodies none of those things. Then they gave the award. Donnie flipped out because he's been begging for it in between bombing countries and mass murders and subjugation of the American population via terror. And murder, and violence, and intimidation, and lies, and crime, breaking the law hourly. The little midget cunt Bovino, and the boys. So this woman, Machado, gets the Nobel. Then she kisses Donnie's ass because she's hoping Donnie will overturn the dictator of her country. So she shakes hands with the devil, kisses Donnie's ass after she gets the award, says what a great guy Donnie is. Because she needs Donnie, she needs the devil, she needs the beast right now. All she sees is her end goal. So the devil gives her her wish. Invades the country for the oil and only for the oil, no other reason. Immediately throws her under the goddamn bus and says, no, she's not going to, she has no respect in the country. What are you talking about? Machado who? So after she got thrown under the bus, she heard rumors that if she gives the Nobel, maybe something will happen. No, it won't, honey. Donnie runs it. And the last picture of my little presentation will show everyone. And I know she'll still cling to hope. And she'll still keep shaking that hand with the devil. Hoping it gets her to her end goal that she feels is righteous. She's just ruined everything by shaking hands with the devil, kissing his ass. So then she gives a little interview with Hannity, a contrived Hannity. These questions are rehearsed. Given to Hannity, she's being made to do this. Did you say you might give your Nobel to Donald Trump? Oh, funny you should mention that, Sean. Totally scripted, contrived. It was not her idea. It was Donnie and Hannity's idea. Donnie pretends for a day, 2, 3, that he doesn't know what this is about. She's coming and, I hear she wants to give me the Nobel. I have nothing to do with it. He has everything to do with it. And again, it points, Rubes and everyone else, it points to his abject mental deficiency. This is serious mental illness we're dealing with here. Which you should know by now. You'll understand when there's fallout over your neighborhood that you should have listened to people like me that talked about the mental illness that you put your name on. So she does the contrived interview with Hannity. Yeah, I'll give him the prize. Then Dottie again for a few days. Oh, yeah, she's coming. And, I hear she wants to give it to me just out of nowhere because I'm such a great guy. Even though he threw her under the bus. I believe she's coming tomorrow. To do that final handshake with the devil and give the only thing that he cares about. That trophy. And he'll continue to steal her nation's oil and throw her under the bus. Even if he makes her leader, she runs nothing. She's already been thrown under the bus. He doesn't take her seriously. And again, even if he crowns her Queen of Venezuela, she runs jack fucking shit. Donnie runs it. I'm going to prove it with the last picture, okay? So again, the Norwegians wanted to let Donnie know they hate his fucking guts again, and I don't blame him. As much as you want to do it, feel free. Nobel Institute says Peace Prize cannot be transferred after Maria Machado's suggestion. Donnie, we just wanted to let you know we fucking hate you again. Fuck you. The Norwegian Nobel Institute said once the prize is announced, it's so sad our world goes down the fucking turlet for this bullshit. With this is the final commentary on the existence of all this. Oh. It cannot be revoked, shared, or transferred to others. In other words, Donnie, we fucking hate you. Fuck you. You can't trade the award. It's hers forever. You can't militarily leverage it from her. Fuck you, Donnie. We fucking hate you. Forever. Anyway, the full court press again. They let a segment of the Reich come out the past few days. Now they've put the rest out there. The pock-faced hag was out there being a murder apologist and just telling you to take it and stop, calling us Nazis. Stop calling it murder, even though it's murder. That's what Hitler did too. No critique of the Reich was allowed. These talking points day after day, like if you critique the Reich, you're doing something wrong. I noticed this in the first term. How many of you cult members were so astonished and surprised when someone like me would talk shit on your Messiah? As if you lived in a kingdom or a dictatorship. That's how malleable, worthless, and weak in the head you are. You wouldn't believe the surprise, as if I was talking about the emperor or something. How dare I? What you don't understand, weak-minded rube, who believes in nothing. The rest of us learned in school that we have a constitution. And we can say the president's mother is a whore if we want to. And nothing will happen to us. And that's how it's goddamn supposed to be before you cunts came along and gave it the fuck away. So the misery that is Tom Homan, an expression of you, and you know who I'm talking to. A fat, miserable fuck who takes bags of cash in back alleys and then preaches to the rest of us what we should be doing. Just lay down, let the right kill you. Fuck you. We got to stop the hateful rhetoric saying this officer is a murderer is dangerous. It's just ridiculous. It's gonna infuriate people. He is a goddamn murderer. John Ross is a goddamn murderer, and I'll say it to his lawyer. Kristi Noem and Stephen Miller called Renee Good a terrorist. The whole right called her a terrorist. They had her whole life laid out before you. Antifa terrorist, stalking ICE the whole day. Every time there's a shooting and it ends up turning out to be another MAGA kid, we get the same thing. They lay the whole dossier on you. The next day, the whole dossier turns out to be complete goddamn fiction. And then they dare go on the news shows and tell me and you and us out here that our rhetoric is a problem. Wait a minute, you just demonized the dead that you people murdered for days. Now, Bags of Cash Tom Holman is telling us that our rhetoric is inflammatory. No, murder is inflammatory, you fat, drunk fuck. And what you people have achieved, because I'm noticing the rage of the public has gone up about 10 notches after this murder on the street that we all got to watch on TV. All you people have done is made millions of more people want to see you burn. That's it. That's what you've achieved. Congratulations. And I could hear the fear in every one of these cunts. They know it's this close. And I can see it too. And Bovino, midget, fucking bitch-ass, punk-ass Bovino. You know you're a piece of bait, right, midget? You know you're a goddamn piece of bait, you and your boys. Donnie's just dangling you fucking worthless cunts out there for when the straw breaks. Do you understand that? I do. Don't call the murderer a murderer. That's, again, inversion of reality. That's the same thing Adolf Hitler did. He made it to where people were afraid, and it was actually illegal to critique the Reich and just speak the truth. 1984, the novel, Russia, China, North Korea, Nazi Germany. You know what it is. That's what Tom and the pock-faced hag spent the day doing. Inverting reality. Saying the public and the press and the people in government, saying you murdered that woman and you're all responsible. The pock-faced hag, the misery that is Tom Holman, Donnie Shitbags, JD the couch fucking pedophile Vance. You all advocate these policies. You all deploy these people. You all tell them they're untouchable, they're immune, do whatever you want, and they doing whatever they want. Seeing all kind of videos, I can't even share them all with you. They came to a red light, they wanted to get out of a situation real quick. They probably just killed somebody or something, who the fuck knows. The car was at the red light. They did what you see in a movie. They had a big SUV, rammed into the car, pushed it out of the way, literally drove off. Someone was filming the whole fucking thing and following him. These motherfuckers are out of control, and they've been given instructions to be out of control and do whatever you want. You are immune. We are fucked. Do you understand that? Because the people that could handle this won't. The military, and you know what I mean. You know who I'm talking to. You people could have handled this a long time ago. And you're just allowing it. You're the only people now that can stop it, and you won't. I know. I've read the story. I already know your future. Unfortunately. It's not a fun life, knowing your future. Because all it tells me is I've got nothing to look forward to. Thanks to you. Jake Tapper and the pock-faced hag. Pock-faced anorexic hag, excuse me. Would any of those officers on J6 been justified shooting and killing rioters? Yeah, because I noticed the policy from you rubes, the gospel for the J6 people that were literally beating police to death, is we should have let all that happen and not touched anybody. A woman in her car stopped by ice. She should be shot in the face, though, according to you people. That's why you're going to burn. Sorry. It's your gospel, not mine. The imp is your God, not mine. Never. We don't pick and choose which situations laws are enforced and which ones aren't. Actually, they do, because Chris Miller intentionally held help back. So did Kash Patel. So did Donald Trump and the whole cabinet. So yeah, you do control it, actually. You just wanted that coup to succeed. I don't think Noam was in that group yet. We don't pick and choose which situations laws are enforced or which ones aren't. Sure you do. Every single one of them is being enforced under Trump administration. Like, you invade a country because of drugs, and then you let one of the biggest drug traffickers off because they gave you a couple million for a pardon. President of Honduras, remember that? Jerk-offs? Tapper, I just showed you a video of people attacking law enforcement. Trump pardoned all of them, and you said Trump is enforcing all laws equally. It's just not true. There's a different standard for law enforcement officers being attacked. If they're being attacked by Trump supporters, that's why your country is over, because you're in favor of this, and you'll make an argument for it. That's why you're going to the lake, because you believe this. You're a hypocrite. You don't believe in freedom. You're for your fellow citizen. You think you can kill people different than you. And that's okay. And that's Jesus-y. Boy, are you in for a rude motherfucking awakening. Especially when they stamp that mark on your hand. I'll take it, ball. Slap. That's the end of you. Anyone that does it. The straight up end of you. The second you take it. And you know what got you there, son? Believing in the Antichrist, being just like him, and preaching the same gospel. That's what fucking got you there. Never forget that. When you're standing on the banks of the lake, confronting protests, Iran vows to strike back if the U.S. attacks. So we've got Europe, we've got German ships being moved towards Greenland. We've got Europe basically saying, and the United Kingdom, because Donnie, I believe, asked for them to join in this little endeavor, and they said no. You've got Europe saying they're going to fight. I don't know if I believe them, but they're saying it. And they're moving assets. You've got Iran saying they're going to fight. I don't know if I believe them, but they move in assets. Because the last bombing that the Reich did on Iran, they really didn't retaliate. But I think that bombing was more for show than anything else. Because remember, we found out that the capability really wasn't diminished very much, their nuclear capability, and a lot of stuff was moved. It was more of like a show strike for us, so he could say, I obliterated Iran or whatever. Meanwhile, the intelligence from every source says, yeah, really not that much damage was done. So Iran's saying they're going to fight. Europe's saying they're going to fight. Donnie's insisting that his military people draw up plans to invade Greenland. That's been reported over the past several days. That has leaked. They're trying to put color and books and different shit in front of Donnie to keep him busy so he stops thinking about Greenland. That's the approach they are fucking taking. Eventually, he will get the right psychos together to go take Greenland. And Europe's going to have to decide whether they really want to fight or not. World War III. You know what you voted for, jerk-off. And you know who I'm talking to. This is Stephen Miller on CNN. Can you rule out the U.S. is going to take Greenland by force? Greenland should be a part of the U.S. By what right does Denmark assert control over Greenland? The U.S. is the power of NATO. Not just the U.S. Other countries do have some decent militaries. America's the largest. They were all our allies. One of the reasons we were a dominant world power, because we made these alliances against Russia and China. And now they all hate us because that was the plan. Donnie wants to align with his buddies. Kim Jong, the House Assad, Venezuela, Russia. Literally. We've been flipped. We're the bad guys. So Stephen Miller, as usual, preaching, yeah, we're going to take Greenland. The pock-faced hag again. My God, she's starting to look Asian with the goddamn filler. We can't, this is her talking. We can't trust our government anymore. Bash, Dana Bash. You are the government. Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's what she's saying. I know I'm the government, and you can't trust us. Did she take an extra Xanax or something? Then again, the puppy killer really isn't good at these interviews. She always makes it worse. We can't trust our government anymore, says the puppy killer. Dana Bash says, you are the government. The puppy killer says, yes, that's what I'm saying. I really wonder if God sometimes, because weird things like that keep happening, gets in their head for a minute. And just, no matter what they want to say, God just makes them spout the reality of the situation. Because this has happened over and over again. Remember Miss Wiles, when she did that magazine, she basically talked shit on the entire Reich. Remember that? And then when we all said, wow, Miss Wiles talks shit on the entire Reich. And the reporter said, she talks shit on the entire... She's like, no, I didn't. That one thing about Leon I didn't say. In other words, we became the asshole because she gave an interview. Maybe she had a couple glasses of wine. I don't fucking know. She's, number 3 in the Reich chief of staff at the fucking White House, and she's talking abject shit on the Reich. Again, I really wonder if God gets in these people's heads for a second and just makes them state reality. Because it keeps happening. Over and over again. I don't know if you noticed. Okay, we got Tapper and the puppy killer again. You called Renee Good a domestic terrorist shortly after the shooting. Why did you not wait for an investigation? Because we needed to cover the murder and, smear her personally. Give the Rubes the talking point they need when the whole world calls him a murderer and says it's murder. The puppy killer. Everything I've said has been proven to be factual and the truth. This administration wants to operate in transparency. Tapper, what you said is not what happened. It's absolutely what happened. I'm gonna go pop another Xanax. I'll be right back, Jake. No, it's not. She's inverting reality. Everything she said isn't factual. There's what evidence this woman's a terrorist? The terror is coming from the Reich. Kristi Noem is a terrorist. Tom Homan is a terrorist. Bovino is a terrorist. They have unleashed a mob of terrorists, criminals, rapists, drunks, unqualified cunts who couldn't get a girlfriend, so they gotta get a mail order bride from the Philippines. Dangerous people. Obviously, there's a reason he couldn't get a goddamn girlfriend. So he buys one. And then he shoots a woman in the face and calls her a fucking bitch because he doesn't like her. And I know he planned on shooting her. He switched the phone from his gun hand right before he did it, before she hit the gas. That tells me all I personally need to motherfucking know. And officers out there, I don't know if you people know this. I do know this. Oftentimes, certain people have an agenda. They have an intent. They have a desired outcome they are looking for. So they do things to help make that outcome a reality. So oftentimes, and I'm not blanketing all law enforcement as one here, but let's be honest. Sometimes officers want to draw that gun. And they know there's certain ways they'll be allowed to do that. One is step in front of a car or get too close to a car. Because they want to pull the gun. They want your foot to slip off the gas. Maybe there's a few officers and they give contradictory orders. Maybe they make it confusing on purpose. I've seen videos of that before. Officers stepping towards cars intentionally so they can pull that piece. I'm not saying every officer. I would never lump all law enforcement together like that. That's what that guy did. He wasn't in front of the car, but he got closer to it. So he could make it look like what he made it look like. And he switched the phone to his other hand before she hit the gas. That tells me he was looking to shoot. And he knew he was going to shoot. He helped it happen. And he planned on killing her before she hit the gas. I personally know that. I don't care if you believe it too. I could fucking care less. I'm giving you my assessment. I didn't realize that at first, as I thought about the footage more and more. And when the fucking bitch thing came out, that's, I believe, his personal footage from his phone. For all the people on 4chan so they can clap like seals before they burn in the lake. And to let the world know, the rubes, the evil people that are going to burn, to let them know she was a lesbian. Even though she had a bunch of kids, so she probably has been with men, I would say. At the moment, she was a lesbian. I could care less again. I wouldn't have cared if it was MAGA Joe, MAGA Joan in her car, straight, not a lesbian, with children. It would be the same exact situation to me. A U.S. citizen who did nothing wrong ended up getting murdered on the street and called a fucking bitch after the murderer shot her 3 fucking times, point blank, in the face. It doesn't matter to me what kind of person it was, is my point. That matters to you people out there. And you know who I'm talking to. In this country, we used to have rights. And those rights apply to MAGA and non-MAGA alike. At least that's my perspective. That's not yours. You're a hypocrite. You think liberals deserve to get shot. That's why you're going to burn, son. Literally one of the reasons. Because you're walking around with murder in your heart left and right. Let me move on. This is Tom Homan. I can't believe she asked this question. This woman, I forget what's her name. It doesn't say her name, damn it. Meat Press. Every one of these fat fucks is a goddamn criminal, too. Bondi covered for Epstein back in Florida, and now, my God. There's just so many crimes, money they've taken from places. They've been foreign agents for different countries. A lot of the cabinet, I mean, just abject criminals. And they dare get on TV and tell us how we should be and what's right and wrong. The FBI recorded you accepting a bag which was determined to contain $50,000. You indicated you could help win contracts in the second Trump administration. Where is that $50,000? I didn't take $50,000 from anybody. I did nothing illegal. Yes, you did, Tom. There's footage. And if a cross-eyed podcaster was not running the FBI right now, your bitch ass, your fat ass, will be on cell block C in fucking prison. Piece of shit. Okay, this is the puppy killer again with Jake Tapper. The officer appeared to have fired 3 shots, the second and third through the side window. What is the justification for the second and third? Well, he was mad and he wanted to murder her. And he had planned on doing it before she hit the gas pedal. Puppy killer, you see how quickly the situation unfolded. Tapper, but what is the reason for the second and third shot? This investigation will continue to unfold and more info will come forward. No, it won't. They called the woman a terrorist from Jump Street. The entire Reich has been smearing a dead woman they killed. There's no investigation. Case closed. They got away with murder and we all watched it. Just like Donnie said. He could murder someone on Fifth Avenue. Instead, his hand, fat fuck Johnny, did the work for him. Donnie might as well have been on the street himself pulling that trigger. This was all Donnie's idea. And after they murder a woman, then they triple down. They send another 1,000 agents, or terrorists, if you will, to come terrorize the community more. I'm not kidding. Pure evil, son. Pure subjugation of the masses. I know, son. You thought it was only about illegal aliens. I know. Fat-ass Tom Homan again. Was Secretary Noem correct to label Renee Good a domestic terrorist? Tom goes back and forth. He's afraid to co-sign this, and then he does. And because Tom, the puppy killer, Bovino, all of them, they feeling the heat from this. I can feel the heat, too, in every video I watch. People hate these motherfuckers. And that has an effect on you. That kind of hatred coming at you from the masses. It ain't easy to handle that. We don't know what, I don't know what Secretary Noem knows and what I know. I can tell you what they did is illegal. No, they didn't do anything illegal. I shouldn't even be fucking with them, first of all. They're U.S. citizens. They weren't blocking ICE. They weren't doing anything. And then they got agents that ain't even supposed to speak to them, con ripping on their door handles and setting up so they can use their weapon. And it was obvious after I thought about it, looked at it. Obvious what the intent was from second one when Fat Fuck Johnny started walking over to the car. These are sick fucks, and there's a lot of people in law enforcement. I don't know what percentage that are sick fucks just like Fat Fuck Johnny. And their entire identity and hope was that somebody would give them a gun, a badge, and authority. Because nobody else likes them. Tapper pushes back against Gnome under description of the ICE shooting. With all due respect, Secretary, the first thing he said was, quote, "What happened was our ICE officers were out in an enforcement action." I remember I made these same points the other day to you. They got stuck in the snow because of the adverse weather that is Minneapolis. That came out later. First, it was a law enforcement action. They were attempting to push out their vehicle, and a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run over and ram them with her vehicle. That's not what happened. We all saw what happened. No, it's absolutely what happened. Don't believe your lying eyes. I wish it wasn't too late. I wish the things I was saying would still have a chance to make a difference. And we wouldn't have to go through this, where fat-ass Tom Homan who takes bags of cash, a woman who shoots puppies and then writes about it in her book about how great it is, and is now partly responsible for a straight-up murder, and another woman getting shot 5 times and all kinds of great stuff she's going to burn hot for. That these people say the opposite of reality in service of subjugating us, literally, as you pay for it. Your own subjugation. All I can think is if you never existed, then none of this would be. And by you, I mean the imp, the Antichrist, the false prophet, and every single person that's ever preached their gospel. If you simply had not existed, what this world could be right now. What a goddamn shame. Let me take a break for a moment, and then we'll get into this. The next thing. Okay. Okay, as you are worrying about how you will pay your bills, the end of America, the subjugation of the masses, concentration camps, World War III, annexation, your paycheck, your children. Donnie's worried about this. And this is what Donnie's doing. And this is what Donnie's posting about. Because it's all about Donnie. Yeah, he's the Antichrist. The entrance to Mar-a-Lago, probably paid for by you, I assume. Wow, look at all that gold and stars. And the door reminds me, this is very, to me, it may not be to architectural geniuses. I'm getting a very, like, Persian vibe here. I'm also getting a vibe that he's going to use those people when he turns on Bibi. And us. Just a thought. Okay, back to Tom Homan and Welker. That's the woman's name that asked, you know, hey, did you take that 50,000, you crooked fat bastard? Welker, Noam called it an act of domestic terrorism. What's the evidence for that allegation? Well, there fucking is none. Homan, if they didn't have sanctuary policy, change the subject, talk about something else. Filibuster. Welker, to be clear, is anyone who protests ICE a domestic terror? Well, yeah, that's the goal they're pushing you towards. Little children, I don't know if you noticed. That's why Antifa is a terror group and Antifa doesn't exist. Because they're going to call you Antifa or whatever they need to. Just like they did to this woman they murdered straight up on the street in front of us all. She was a terrorist within hours. That's you, son. That's where they want to get you. Anyone critiques the Reich, anyone against fascism. Why do you think Hitler demonized the socialists, the Marxists, the communists, etc., the liberals? Because they hated fascism and they would talk against fascism. You know what the right wings wanted since 1945 in this country? What you cunts have wanted, and you're proving it right now. We can't have arguments against the fascist ideology. Why? Because that's what they are. The right wing has never liked arguments against fascist ideology. You know how I know that? Little, tiny, stupid children, do you know how I know that? Because since 1945, they've been holding up Adolf Hitler with 3 words: liberal, commie, Marxist. And you morons ate it the fuck up. What a 5-minute history lesson will show, the right wing in Germany and the right wing here are the same thing. White supremacists, nationalists. Same thing. And the right-wing movements in both of those countries, in both eras, were the closest thing to fascism that's on the planet that's not fascism. Because there were rules. Good ones. For fairness. I know you Rubes don't care about that. That's why the lake is your fate. Who promoted those rules of fairness? Not the right wing, never, ever. They talk about it all the time. They do the direct opposite. The rube at the bottom that talks about libertarianism, freedom, the Constitution, they want to subjugate you too. That's why they're allowing it right now. That's why they voted for it. They're a joke. They believe in nothing. Anything remotely right-wing in this country. And I'm a Christian saying that, son. I ain't your kind of Christian, though. Totally different thing. The right wing since 1945 has made the argument that liberalism equals Adolf Hitler. It's the exact reverse. That's true. You fucking cunts destined for the lake. Hitler was a right-wing nationalist, white supremacist. Eventually, he turned the whole society into a dictatorship. Did it look good to you? The goose stepping, the grainy black and white, the devil all goddamn over it. Did that look good to you? That's where we are, and that's where we going. It will hurt you too. It's hurt many of you already. Thousands, millions. I thought this was a good idea because you knew better. And then they ruined you. Because you were naught but a mark the entire goddamn time. So the way I know that the right wing has been down with this fascist ideology again, and that liberals are the only thing in the way of it in 1939 and now, is that the liberals are getting persecuted and locked up and murdered. And that idea's been promoted forever since I was a kid. It's a big laugh in right-wing circles at the dinner table, right, Rubes? Right, Christians? Shooting liberals? That's Jesus-y, right? Cunts destined for the lake? Again, son, you wouldn't know Jesus if he slapped you in your goddamn face. Let me continue. This isn't a lesson on fucking socialism and fascism and right-wing versus left-wing. It's not what it's supposed to be. But Adolf Hitler wanted the same thing. Anyone that protests, you're an enemy of the state, you're a terrorist, blah, blah, fucking blah, same playbook going on here. Meanwhile, the guy that's saying that took a big fat bag of cash, $50,000, on tape. But he telling you, that protesters, yeah, they're terrorists. It's a case-by-case basis. If you look at the definition of terrorism, it certainly would fall within a note. The terrorism was the cunt, untrained, socially awkward and unaccepted, which is why he had to get a fucking Filipino mail-order bride. The terror is him knowing he's going to kill that woman before he walks up to the car. The terror is that mass Gestapo, unaccountable, immune, they tell us. That's literally terror, son. You have a force of terrorists deployed against you right now, and they are unaccountable to anyone. That's Nazi Germany. That's Vlad Putin territory. That's Kim Jong territory. That's Xi territory. Bukele territory. We already there. We long been there. They murdered someone. They tripled down. The terrorists are the Reich. Inversion of reality. That's what Tom is doing. That's what they are doing. Every day, all day. When they murder people flat out on the goddamn street and then say, you're a terrorist, and that person we murdered was a terrorist. Fuck you. I hope the lake has a marshmallow stand. I really do. I don't even care if I'm going in with you, son, as long as you going in. And I get to eat a marshmallow first. Tapper. But Minnesota officials are saying the DOJ isn't working with them. Should they? Gee, I wonder what the pock-faced anorexic puppy killer will say. I would say that these locals, if you look at what Waltz and Frey have said, they've extremely politicized and inappropriately talked about the situation on the ground in their city. I would encourage them to grow up. Says the cunt that was on camera 5 minutes after the woman's death calling her a terrorist. Again, the rhetoric coming from Tim Waltz, though, and the mayor. That's over the top. Not shooting a U.S. citizen in the face 3 times and walking the fuck away with total immunity. I don't know how these people live with themselves. They ain't gonna live forever, though, don't worry. Oh my God. Welker and Holman again. Where is that $50,000? Did you keep it? I didn't take $50,000 from anybody, and that's a question for the FBI. No, it isn't, Tom. It's a question for you, you fat fuck. I'm not giving this story more air. Bottom line, I did nothing illegal. Bottom line, there's tape. Fat ass. Fuck you, you criminal. You goddamn criminal. But was there $50K in the bag? She stays on it. I'm not addressing it. But did you keep the money? Oh, and 50,000 is ridiculous. No, it isn't. You took it. It's on tape. Fuck you. And I'll say it to your lawyer that you took the money, motherfucker. All right, Ron's commenting, Ron Filipkowski is commenting on what one of the things Homan said. Let me read the Homan thing real quick so you know what he's talking about. We got to stop the hateful rhetoric saying the officer is a murderer is dangerous. No, it isn't. It's the truth. And that's what they don't want. And that's what the war has been since for 10 years against the truth. And again, since 1945, the right wing has always been this. The truth was never acceptable. Democracy was never acceptable. They needed a way to get around the courts and the laws and all the freedoms our Constitution gave us. Do you know when they did that? How they did that? George Bush, goddamn Jr. Cheney and Sr. running shit. If they named you a terrorist, all rights cease. They can send you to Guantanamo and do whatever the whatever the fuck they want. That's the right wing that passed that. Cunts. That will be used on you. It already has been. Every 5 minutes. We labeled it a terror group. We labeled it a non-listed terror group that we can't tell you about. That's why we blew up that boat in the Caribbean. We named Antifa a terror group. Now we can do anything we want to. We called that woman we murdered a terrorist. Now we can do anything we want. All laws, all rights cease. They've been wanting to do that for so long, and then comes George Bush, the moron Jr. I had already known this just from what I saw and the agenda put forth. But in the movie, I believe Brolin played George Bush Jr. I never watched it. I saw a trailer of one scene where Bush Jr. was sitting at a table with Dick Cheney saying, will you be my running mate? And he basically said, I'm just going to if you let me run everything, I'm your man. Bushy Jr. didn't give a fuck. He's a party boy. Sure, Dick. Whatever you want. I'll be a figurehead. I don't give a shit. You think I'm kidding, son? And I already knew that before the movie came out. When I saw the scene, I was like, yep, yep. That's exactly how it goddamn went. So when they pass that little whatever you want to call it, I can't remember, during the Bush Jr. years, Donnie and the Reich have picked that up and run with it now. They know the way around the law, around the courts, around your rights, always since Bush Jr., label you a terrorist. Now we can do anything. That's what's going to happen to people. It's already happening to people. Every crime they commit against someone, every time they assault someone, attempt to murder them, it's they were a terrorist. But we're not the terrorists killing people. Ethnic cleansing, rounding up anyone with dark skin. We're not the terrorists. In the mass with the machine guns, we're here to help. America is not supposed to have secret, unaccountable police. That's for Nazi Germany. That's for communist Russia. That's for communist North Korea. That's for communist China. That's not for here. It is now thanks to you cunts. And if you think you cunts are immune, exempt, the massive machine gun isn't for you, you dead goddamn wrong. If you think you're on the team, you're dead goddamn wrong. You're a mark, and it's over. Joe Biden was the last president. There will be no more elections. America is over. Donnie will milk it for every penny it has. And offer you a worthless mark with worthless Donnie coin in exchange when your nation has nothing left. Fucking idiots. This is why your country's over. Could you in league with fat cunts like him that take big fat bags of cash and then tell you to just lay down and let the terrorist force that we've deployed against you kill you, do whatever you want. Don't call them murderers when they execute someone on the street right in front of the whole world. That's mean. Even though we just spent the last 3 days calling her a terrorist. I'm going to enjoy watching that fat fuck burn. He got a lot of fat on him, too. That's going to kick the flames up. Tapper and the puppy killer, pock-faced, anorexic, hideous puppy killer of a hag, actually. Is that Agent Ross's voice calling Renee Good a fucking bitch? I can't determine which one it is, but it could be. She knows goddamn well it is. We got tape of multiple angles plus his video. The psycho wanted to film the murder. And I believe that. We watch this woman get executed. We find out the next day he calls her a fucking bitch. Milliseconds after he murders her, an unarmed woman. And they dare try and spin this? It can't be any worse. He even capped it off. He proved what the whole thing was about at the end. In a legitimate courtroom, he'd be goddamn toast. He said fucking bitch on tape after he shot the woman 3 times in the face. Again, exactly what I said. He had planned on killing her. He didn't like them. They may have made comments. I don't know. That doesn't mean they deserve to die. And the last thing she said is, I'm not mad at you. And then you got the pock-faced anorexic puppy killer pretending she doesn't know it's his voice after she just inverted reality for 20 minutes and blamed the murder victim and defended the murderers. Border Patrol Commander Bovino hounded by activists and shoppers protesting his presence. He was in a Target with a bunch of the boys, all 4'5" of them. I guess they use the bathrooms in Targets. Target has told ICE, you know, you can always come in and whatever. As they were walking out, of course, Bovino's in the middle because he's a little scared bitch. Don't let the act fool you. With all the bigger men on the outside, you know what I mean? So a bunch of customers, and especially a very tall black man, was cursing them the fuck out, yelling at them, telling them they're, you know, they ain't shit. The black guy was even like, any one of you, you know, you put down the gun and the badge, I'll whoop your ass. A bunch of other people were yelling. I mean, just what I'm trying to say is, and I could tell Bovino and the boys wanted to do something. When the guy made the comment about fighting them, Bovino actually turned around and faced him, but kept walking backward. They kept moving. I guess just, you know, in case this could turn into something, and maybe he'll get to kill the guy or something with his gun. I could tell they wanted to do something. And eventually they will do something when things like that happen. And it will be accepted. But the point I'm trying to make, because I saw another video today where a whole mob of people, I mean, like, the rage coming from these people was palpable. It's rather frightening, actually. And I could tell the agents are a little worried, and they should be. They murdered a U.S. citizen in front of us all, and everybody knows it. What I'm trying to say is, I've noticed in these videos today, the rage in the public, man. Again, like 10 notches up. And it occurred to me that Bovino and the boys are bait for Donnie because a mob is going to do something at some point. And a bunch of these guys ain't going to go home. It's inevitable. And that's what Donnie wants. Then he has his excuse. But you, the dumbasses in the masks, and Mr. Bovino himself, you could be the sacrifice. Never forget that, morons. And Donnie will be just fine with it. You nothing but a goddamn piece of bait for him right now. And someone's eventually going to take that bait. And you'll be another acceptable sacrifice for the God King Donnie Shitbags. The Antichrist. And I also thought to myself, if they get hated any further, even now, they might not be useful anymore. Wouldn't Donnie look like the hero, Mr. Bovino, if he threw his mass cunt force under the bus? Maybe leaked all their names, too. You think it can't happen? If shit gets too hot. It happened to the brown shirts. Might happen to you too. And I was thinking as Greg was walking and he was just getting utterly cursed out by people. I was thinking, have these guys outlived their usefulness already? Is the public animosity towards them too great for them to be even useful anymore? It's getting close to that point. It's getting ugly, man. And I don't blame the public. Look, they murdered someone on the street and they've been wanting to do that. 13 people, 13 incidents of them shooting into cars so far that we know of. They want to do things like that. They want to get away with it. But what's going to come with it is a rage you cannot fathom. In America, we ain't used to living under dictatorship. It will not be a smooth transition. Ask Charlie Kirk how smooth it is. Oh, that's right. Never mind. Ask Charlie Kirk if only liberals will get touched by this. Oh shit, never mind. Homan asked critics to tone down the rhetoric about ICE after Minneapolis shooting. Well, Governor Newsom press office fan account says, we asked Homan to tone down the murder. Yeah. Could you guys tone down the killing and murder? And then the rhetoric will get toned down. You won't be called murderers anymore if you stop murdering people. Maybe. You won't be called Nazis anymore either if you don't do Nazi salutes, activate Nazi policies. But again, the point is to stop critique, to make people feel wrong and make it illegal to point out what they are. Nazis, fascists, their agenda is evil. That was a murder the other day. That the J6 people are traitors, that Donnie's a traitor. All that needs to go away. That's the process you're watching now. And it's working. ICE uses a tactic called the death box, surrounding your car, giving conflicting orders. In the Renee Good video taken closer up, you hear one of them say, get the fuck out of here. Another saying, get out of the car. It's designed to confuse you. It's intentional. If you move in any direction, they shoot you. It's pre-planned murder. I don't know if the death box murder was that planned. All I know is shortly before he even arrived at the car, he had planned on killing her. That's what I know. I could tell by the situation. This person, I agree with their assessment though, and there are some law enforcement people that will intentionally put themselves in harm's way so they have the right to pull the piece and kill you. It's happened many times. Again, I'm not saying all police do that, all agents do that, but some do, and we all know it. And yes, conflicting orders were given, and that was probably intentional, yes. These people are sick that have the mask. Only a sick human being, you understand that, right? Only a sick human being, utterly worthless to society, destined to burn in the lake and their memory disappear forever, would put a mask on, pull the machine gun out, dress in fatigues and a bulletproof vest to go kidnap people and terrorize America. Every single one of them, you realize, utterly disturbed, utterly sick in the head. There are no exceptions. You have to be to put on a mask and carry a machine gun and kidnap and terrorize people. Normal people don't do that. People that are worth something don't do that. Here's the pock-faced anorexic puppy killer on Fox News with Bartiromo. People are using their vehicles as deadly weapons. Nope. ICE is murdering people. and training them on how to block streets. They weren't blocking the street. They were waving the guy by, and ISIS murdering people. All of these times you see these rioters out there doing that, they've been trained to do that. They know they are training them to break the law. No, ISIS breaking the law by attempting to murder people, beating people up, harassing, terrorizing, kicking doors down, macing babies, attacking high school kids, murdering women on the goddamn street. That's the law being broken. You pock-faced fucking ghoul. My God. This is a random commenter. It's so insanely embarrassing that we have to fight an 80-year-old pedophile with dementia for basic human rights. Yep, and what? Again, little children, and this person doesn't know. He's the Antichrist. It's going all the way into the dark, baby. You think this is bad now? And he wants to be king of the world, and that was prophesied, and he's doing it, and I've never seen anyone want to do it more. I never seen nothing like this, and you know you haven't either in America. Nothing close. This is different. On a spiritual level, and I know you can see that too. All of you. You can see the difference, feel the difference, you know it's different. Yet so many of you treat it the same as it's always been. That is your downfall. That's not exaggeration. This ain't right-wing Alex Jones TV just pointing at everyone calling him a pedophile. No, Donnie's a goddamn pedophile. For real. And we all know it. Best friends with Jeffrey Epstein. 80-year-old pedophile with dementia for basic human rights. Yep. JB Pritzker with Jake Tapper. If you don't remember what JB looks like. ISIS breaking their own protocols. Trump is breaking the law. Noam needs to resign or be impeached. Tricia McLaughlin is a pathological liar. Yeah, and they're all criminals too. Donnie's a mass murderer. Miss Noam, the pock-faced anorexic cunt hag, is partially responsible for that woman's death. Donnie's partially responsible. Donnie's a mass murderer for the people in the Caribbean, and the other 80 he killed in Venezuela just for oil. George Conway. Donald Trump is a man who represents all the things we teach our children not to be. He's a liar, a thief, a molester. He has no remorse, no shame, no empathy. He has no loyalty to the law, the Constitution. This man is the lowest character of all, and that's putting it fucking nicely. Yeah. That's why it's so shocking to so many of us that so many of you are down. What we all had to realize, what some of you still have to realize, a segment of the population of the earth are evil, not good people. There's nothing we can do about that. You can preach and pray and hope and cross your fingers and keep wasting your time on them over whatever you want to do, and you'll get nowhere. I heard someone, and you know, it's the correct Jesus-y approach. I get what they're doing. Said they were praying for ICE that they turn the other way and they do this and do that. And I thought to myself, son, this is the apocalypse, son. And God in Christ kind of let us know that they already hate these motherfuckers in advance. They also let us know they ain't going to change no matter what you do. So So as far as the teachings of Christ in the Bible, I don't know whether I'm supposed to pray for them and hope they change, go the other way, or hate what God hates and understand they ain't never going to change because this is the apocalypse. There's a story, it's written, and some people go along. In fact, probably most people go along. Is the proper approach to fight? However you fight, protest, commentary, whatever the fuck you do. Is the proper approach to pray and hope they change the direction? This is the approach I choose. Because I know the story, and I know the people, and I know they ain't going to change direction. So why waste my goddamn time praying? I'll go the other route. It's written, right, Lord? They ain't changing their mind. That's what you tell me. So why should I waste my time? That's my logic. Commenter, it's become very clear that when conservatives spent decades saying, don't tread on me, the most important word was me. Exactly. Tread on those liberals, go for it. That's awesome. Can we join? Yep. And I've seen documentaries about old, crazy, cool guys that have dummies in their backyard that say liberal or whatever, and they use it for target practice, and they're such cool characters, funny, kooky. No, they're a Satan with murder in their heart. This idea, since I was a child, it's never changed. With the right-wing nationalists, the pseudo-Nazis. It's okay to shoot people we politically disagree with or don't like. That's been a core tenet of fucking right-wing politics since way before I was born. They've always wanted the chance to do it. Guess what, class? Now they have their chance. And they preaching that gospel. And they doing it. One dead on the street. Another one shot 5 times. Already doing it. Already in place. So yes, you people never actually believed in anything. That don't tread on me people. You know who you are. You never believed in jack shit. One idea you did believe in, though, and you're okay with. Killing the people I see as bad. Liberals, whatever. Gays, whatever it is for you. Ethnic minorities, all of it. That's what you were okay with. That's why you like right-wing politics. Every day, all day. The main reason. So as long as it wasn't you being tread on, it was okay. As long as you were allowed to go out and tread on others. You were the protected class of the dictatorship, of the evil, of the dystopia, of the kingdom. That's what you believed. I got something I gotta add to this, and I've told you this before. And I didn't realize it till, 10 years ago. The right-wing machine. I used to watch, and I was never right-wing, but I was into the different things. And I never took it seriously. But I, peruse that world at different times in my life. And what I mean by that is Alex Jones. I heard about Cernovich years later. Um, so many others. The Hagmans, Paul Bagley, BP Earthwatch, like all these different people on social media, Fox News. I did watch Fox News around the 9/11 time, and then I switched after that. Um, that machine that's been preaching for at least 20 years. Every fucking day, every second. Everything you're seeing right now, the camps, the crackdowns, the mass police, the dragging people out of their homes and cars, the murders, the attempted murders, your military deployed against you. All those commentators said Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, liberals, evil socialist Marxists were going to do that to you. Do you remember that? Every day for 20 years. The entire grift machine. The entire conspiracy world. Pizzagate, all of it, baby. None of it real. Not a shred of it. What they said as they pointed the finger, the liberals want to do this to you. 20 years of that. Millions of dollars poured into it. Russian money, American, all kind of money. Day after day. It was projection again. Literally. They were telling you what they wanted to do to you. And they were hoping they get the chance. They were white supremacists. They were Hitler worshipers. The whole time, son. Can you fucking believe it? As they were pointing a finger at the other side of politics and the way of thinking. At the people they don't like. Just because they don't like them. Not because it's true. Obviously. They're going to subjugate us like Adolf Hitler did because they're socialist, commie, Marxists, and so was Adolf Hitler. That argument has been made since 1945. The modern incarnation of it, the social media era with Alex Jones, Cerno, and all those fucking cunts. They were projecting what they were going to do and what they wanted to do to you. That's what you listened to for 20 years. You're watching them build it and do it right now. All it ever was, at its core, right-wing, white supremacist nationalism. That's it. That's all it ever was. Nothing more. Nothing grand or godly about it whatso goddamn ever. Just a pseudo-Nazi party whose people out in peasant land and at the top just wanted them liberals out the way so they could run everything just like the Nazis. And again, the right-wing grift machine has been making the same argument Adolf Hitler was every single day. Liberals are evil, they're of Satan, they're this, they're that, they're going to do this. Meanwhile, you cunts were doing it all, and now you've instituted it all. You're projecting your evil intentions onto the liberals all this time. The evidence is what you're doing right now. All of you are naught but just right-wing nationalist white supremacists, nothing more. Might as well be in the Klan. Very cliche, very stupid. Cost so many of you your farms, different things. So, all the Second Amendment people, they're down with fascism as long as they aren't the protected class. If they think they're on the team, they always thought that way, and they were always hoping it would be open season on liberals and they could just go out and shoot you. How do I know? Jonathan Fat Fuck Ross. How do I know? Cernovich preaching the gospel of the right, going to the White House in season 1, and now in season 2, Cerno is there with the fake Epstein file that was worthless. And Alex preaching this gospel, everything's okay. You proved to me. Alex showing up at Dugan conferences as a featured speaker, you fucking idiot cunts that ever took him seriously. He's been the enemy of America. Him, Cerno, all of them. They've been down with the Russia thing, the white supremacy thing the whole time. Cerno doing the white power hand signs at the White House in the first administration. You all have just been the pseudo-Nazi party since 1945. That's pretty goddamn sad. And your heroes are a fat fuck defamer named Alex Jones and a fat fucking orange face in a diaper full of shit who's robbing you blind named Donnie Shitbags. And those type of people gave you permission to go out and kill and commit violence against people you don't like and demonize when it's not warranted. Not like you get demonized. You're a demon. You deserve to get demonized. How do I know? You're preaching the gospel of Satan. I would know what that gospel is. You wouldn't. If you knew, you wouldn't vote Donnie Shitbags. So you don't have the, discernment ability to know if it's a satanic gospel or a godly gospel. For instance, executing U.S. citizens on the street because you don't like them, that would be a satanic gospel if you're preaching in favor of that. Just to let you know. Doesn't matter how you justify it. This ain't MAGA world. This is the man. If you're preaching against, like AOC is, if you're preaching against executing people you don't like on the street, that's a godly gospel. Hypocrite cunts. In case you're wondering. Here's another one. A man's walking across my front lawn. It's America. I got the right to shoot him, and I've really been wanting to shoot a human being for a long time. That's why I have guns. So what the hell? He's on my property. That would be a satanic gospel. A guy walking across my lawn, who gives a fuck? He's no threat. That'd be a godly gospel. A shame I got to say that out loud. A shame it's too late and it's not going to make any difference. So the right-wing machine was telling us, projecting on us, and I'm not even considering myself a liberal necessarily, because I don't belong to any political party or anything like that. Anyone who's against right-wing politics, the right-wing machine, fascism, who's in favor of democracy, and the actual Constitution, who actually believes it. Anyone like that isn't down with Nazism, white supremacy, and, protected class. In service of the oligarchs, by the way. That's all it's for. They were just projecting that, we're going to, one day, hopefully, we're going to try and get a system together where we can kill those people. Because that's what Adolf did. Because they were the only stumbling block to full Reich. And that's what we want. Again, Nazis, Greasy Pete, Leon, Donnie. How'd the First Reich end up? And I know they didn't have that military. But there's something that's more powerful than that military. Not on this earth. It's a guy named Jesus. And God the Father. And, they're going to show man, I'm assuming in less than 10 years, something like that, how just little and insignificant they are. No matter what bomb or bullet they invented. Jesus is going to just show you that you're a 1-year-old. You ain't jack shit. So one more time, the right-wing grift machine has been projecting what they have wanted to do to the rest of us that ain't down with their program of subjugation, of white supremacy, of the end of democracy in service of the oligarchy. That's why they were pointing the finger for 20 years. Because that's what they intended to do to you. And us. I'm not kidding. They believe in that Reich that happened in 1939. That's what they based it on. They wanted that. I'm not kidding. Now they have it. I'm not kidding. And they never believed in Don't Tread on Me. They never believed in any of it. They do believe in killing people they don't like. Lucifer. You don't look stupid because you didn't receive your Trump phone. You look stupid for ever buying it. Indeed, indeed. So the drill is, ICE shouts out contradictory orders. You try to follow one of these orders, you are shot dead and denounced by the U.S. government as a domestic terrorist. Quite a future for America's youth to look forward to. Yep. They could do that to anyone. If they make that decision that this is people we want to kill, and that is discussed prior, don't worry. These type of plans, attacks, strategies. They just pull the same playbook. They don't like you. This is one of the people that, and again, they've been given that instruction, son. Do whatever you want. I'm not kidding. If they decide you're going to die today because you made a comment, you're a liberal, whatever reason, they're worthless asses that are going to goddamn burn, don't like you. They make that decision. The little wink and the nod, yeah, this is one we're going to get rid of. Like that woman the other day. If they make that decision about you, one yells stop, one yells go, you go, cap, 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 you're over, just like we planned. Could happen to any one of us. Precedent set. And we know the modus operandi. Stop, go. One guy yells stop, one guy yells go, one guy gets just a little bit close to the car just to make it look good on camera when she hits the gas. Gives him the excuse he can pull the pistol. Son, you're a goddamn murderer, and the Antichrist ain't gonna save you from the goddamn lake. You gonna burn so motherfucking hot. And there ain't gonna be no goddamn mail order bride to save you. One more time. Any one of you out there, they can pull two agents, walk up to your car, stop, go, cap, 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 and call you a terrorist by 1:30 in the afternoon. We watched it happen. This is Welker again, I think. Let's talk about what's at stake here. Chris Murphy. Let's talk about what's at stake here. The president is spending every single day thinking about invading Greenland, managing the Venezuelan economy, building a ballroom. He's not thinking about the American people at all. Yep. Thinking about the entrance to Mar-a-Lago with the gold that you probably paid for, or that he stole from Fort Knox. I forgot, someone pointed that out, that he probably stole that gold. Remember Leon and Donnie were talking about visiting Fort Knox, and then they just stopped talking about it? I assume they stole the gold. So, maybe that's where some of that gold came from. Just a thought. Thanks for reminding me they stole the gold from Fort Knox, by the way, that person that made that comment. Let me take another break quickly. So I got to open a new pack. Smoke 5 packs a day. I'm just kidding. Jerry Lewis clip. I can never find what it was in. I forget. I saw it when I was a kid. He goes to the doctor. He wants to quit smoking. Tells the doctor how many packs, or the doctor asks him, how many packs of cigarettes do you smoke a day? And he goes, 5. The doctor leans over and punches him in the face. And everywhere Jerry would go, if he's walking down the street, whatever, the doctor would be like painted like a statue, like with the discus and shit. And when he would go to light the cigarette, right in the face, every time, wherever Jerry went, the doctor was always there. And when he went to light that cigarette, just right in the face. It was hilarious. I was a kid. I was like, that's fucking ingenious. It's hilarious. I don't know what it was in. Jerry Lewis, doctor. Jerry was the smoker, I believe. I don't know who the doctor was. Brilliant piece of work. All right. Okay, I'm no expert on Nazi Germany, but I knew the second I read this, and I know what type of propaganda is being put out, especially by the Department of Labor. Reminds me of Nazi Germany, reminds me of that era, or the 50s. The slogan by the U.S. Department of Labor, it's their account, the gray check mark, one homeland, one people, one heritage. Remember who you are, American. We all know what they're trying to say there, right? White. We all know it. It's obvious. That's modern code for remember. This is a white nation. Even though there was millions of Native Americans here when the whites got here. Somehow it was magically a white nation. Even though, when we needed to build the railroads, they brought the Chinese over and enslaved them. When, whites needed their crops picked, cotton picked, they brought the blacks over from Africa as slaves and made them do it. Shit like that. They knew the Indians survived, the Native Americans survived on buffalo, so they killed all the buffalo. Shit like that. One homeland, one people, one heritage. Homeland security, this is what it looks like. That's straight propaganda, and that's racist Nazi-type propaganda. And it's intentional. For these are Nazis. And that's not a comparison. That's not drama. They're actual fucking Nazis. That's how pathetic, cliche, and worthless they are. Nazism is their religion. And on top of it, Satanism. That's not a joke. That's not drama. They into it. Get it? Ain't what I believe. It's what they fucking believe. And I could sit here for 3 hours and list how I know that, but I've already told you before. This person is saying we have actual U.S. government departments posting shit like this, and everyone is apparently just chill. Yeah. This phrase was used to send millions to their deaths. This phrase has been chosen. I don't know the history of it yet. We're getting to it. But I did know, if I spent 2 minutes looking into it, I would find that this is a Nazi slogan. So that's probably what they mean by millions sent to their deaths as a result of shit like this. We'll get to it. Back to fat-ass, money-grubbing, bags of cash Tom Homan. We gotta stop the hateful rhetoric. You mean like calling murder victims terrorists? Saying this officer is a murderer is dangerous. No, it isn't. It's the truth. The officer is the danger. He murdered someone. And may this cunt burn for what he's doing right now. And he will, don't worry. It's just ridiculous. No, it isn't. It's the truth. It's going to infuriate people more, which means there's going to be more incidents like this. That's a threat, Tom. And that's why you're going to burn all 350 pounds of your fat, fucking, worthless ass. Criminal ass, too. Cunt. Calling the dead woman a criminal or a terrorist. Threatening the rest of us out here. Fuck you, you fat fuck. No wonder your family don't want you around. Destined for the goddamn lake. Fuck you. Fucking criminal telling us he gonna kill us if we keep calling them murderers and Nazis. Fuck you. John Ross is a goddamn murderer. And I'll say it to his face and his lawyer. Tom Homan is a criminal who takes bags of fucking cash. And I'll say it to his face and his fucking lawyer. Hate to break it to you, but if you think we just need to survive 3 more years and it'll be over, you're not following the plot. Again, so elegantly put. I say 1,000 words just to say what they said in one sentence. He staged a coup last time. Everyone should have known. If he got the keys back, he was never leaving. The problem is, there are millions of you out there that were fine with an utterly corrupt dictator as long as he was just like you. Evil. So that's what you got. And it's going to cost you everything. Enjoy. And thank you for your attention to this matter. And again, all of you, I've been telling you since day one, all of you crossing your fingers, hoping we just got to make it till, he'll leave, new president. Come on, people. A woman just got murdered in front of our faces. And within 3 minutes, Donnie was calling her a terrorist and defending the murderer. And the murderer's been whisked away to safety. He's never leaving. Yeah, it just cracks me up when I hear people talk about the midterms and voting people out and this. You haven't seen the writing on the wall yet, son? It's in neon. And it says, you live in a goddamn dictatorship now and Donnie's never fucking leaving. This is going all the way to World War III and then Armageddon, I assume. America's over. That's why I say it. And I don't enjoy saying it. I despise you for it. But I have to say it. The world is over. He is the Antichrist, and it couldn't be any more fucking obvious. I've never seen nothing like this. Just some old world Nero Caligula shit. Hadrian shit. He already annexed one country. He wants to rule the world. He says he runs the world. He said it to the Atlantic magazine. I presented it to you. What's the difference between term 1 and term 2, Donnie? This time I run the country and the world. He's making a woman from fucking Venezuela whose oil he just fucking stole and who he just threw under the bus come hand him her Nobel Peace Prize. He's the fucking Antichrist. He must have all accolades, and if he's not given them, he'll make the person come and hand it to him who it was given to. In between mass murders, in between being responsible for the murder of a U.S. citizen, in between bombings of 7, 8 different countries now, in between stealing oil tankers, in between hiding the Epstein files. Again, little children, could you have picked something more evil? Could you be on the wrong side of righteousness? If you try, could you be any more on the wrong side? This thing is every evil you can think of. And you dare have your name on it. Again, if you think we only need to survive 3 more years, if you're one of these people hoping for the midterms, hoping for that, 4-year mark where he leaves, not a fucking chance. I'd love to tell you there's a chance. But when you wonder about it, it's a real simple equation here. Donnie staged a coup last time to be dictator. So what's that mean if you give him power again? He's never leaving. And this time he has the sycophants and the crazies in the military to help him. Again, I don't lump the entire military together. They're handpicking people. They don't need the whole military to go along. They just need enough to go along. And boy, have they. Let alone their masked personal police force that has absolute immunity, according to the pedophile couch fucker. It's so over. Expect martial law around midterms. Because they can't let midterms happen. That's when they really got to pull the trigger on this shit. They can't hide anymore. And they will. So all you people crossing your fingers, waiting for the midterms, 4 years, forget about it. Forget about it. Never. Must be a coincidence that they keep ripping off Nazi phrases now. That phrase in this picture that I just showed you. One homeland, one people, one heritage. Take a look again. Remember who you are over the statue of the white man in the wig, who is a Freemason, I'm sure. Not a Christian. The phrase for Hitler that the Reich used, the old Reich, not the one you're in right now. One people, one realm, one leader. And this one is one homeland, one people, one heritage. They can't write one leader yet. That would give too much of the game away, wouldn't it? Yeah. They almost did, though. They just wrote heritage to let you know they mean white. And that's what we're turning this country back into. I mean, hell, they said no immigrants welcome except white South Africans. And then Donnie, like a month or two later, I'd really like some Norwegians and stuff like that. Yeah, they don't want to come here. Why would they? Their country's fair. They're not miserable like Americans are. They're not made to work 19 jobs for a hovel and then go bankrupt if they get cancer. And be in debt for the rest of their life. You know, go to college for $60,000, end up paying back $400,000 over fucking 20, 30 years. We get scammed. Everything's a scam in this country. Getting a job's a scam. You get hit with that 70,000 ads. Do you want to go to school? No, cunt. I want a job. That's what I'm looking for. A paycheck. Not to give you $5,000 for some worthless schooling. Getting an apartment's a scam. The $9,000 you need to get in, the application fees, this, that. They act like they're renting you the Taj Mahal when it's a hovel. Always. Buying a car is a scam. How much can the salesman gouge you for? Someone who's willing to lie. And take money from poor people. We all know that scam. And you shouldn't have to be, you shouldn't have to be an asshole to go buy a car. The experience shouldn't be like that. But that's the culture in America. That's what's taught. It's okay as long as you make money. That's the justification. Went to a mechanic once. Not that long ago. An old lady was paying for it. She has retirement money. The car needed a battery. We didn't know that at the time. They ended up charging her over $2,000, lied about a bunch of work they did, put a new battery in. Took it to another mechanic. Looked at it. Saw they didn't do none of the work they were supposed to. That they charged the old lady for, who they took retirement money from. No problem doing it. They do it all day, baby. That's normal in America. That's why it's over. Everything's a scam. You step out your front door into a scam. When an apartment again is $1,800 starting for a 1-bedroom or a studio or whatever. The empire's over. But how did I get on that when we're talking about this? One homeland, one people, one heritage. Hitler's one people, one realm, one leader. They can't do the one leader part yet. They will, though. Don't worry. Very similar slogan, wouldn't you say? Almost identical. It's almost as if these people are Nazis and are like starting a Reich and shit. Almost. And again, that's the government that put this. That's the Reich that put that out. The Nazi slogan. Huh. Maybe that was a Nazi salute that Leon did, huh? It's divisive to call the officer a murderer, but it's not divisive to call the victim a domestic terrorist, absent of any evidence. Yep. Inversion of reality, straight up of Satan. But we got to tone down our rhetoric. We can't call the murderer murderer. We can't call people that do Nazi salutes Nazis. We can't call people that deploy masked secret police unaccountable to anyone. We can't call them Nazis. We can't call them the Gestapo. We can't call the one that murdered that woman a murderer. We're the bad guys in the situation. They don't expect us to believe it. They just expect the rubes to repeat it and go along. That's been the formula since before I was born. That's how worthless you people are. They load you up with the talking points. You spit them out like good death parrots. You don't know what a death parrot is. Black-faced green parrot. That's you. Spouting the talking points since 1945. That ended your nation. That cost you everything. That will end the world. That's what you've done. That's what you've been a part of. Welker and Holman again. How do you justify an enforcement strategy that's making so many people feel less safe? Holman, because of the false media reports and members of Congress comparing ICE to terrorists. They are terrorists. They just murdered a woman. Has nothing to do with the media. Maybe don't murder people on camera and we won't hate you. It ain't the media's fault when fat fuck Johnny caps some woman 3 times in the face. It's yours, Tom. That's why you're gonna burn. But these Are protesters saying they're concerned for their neighbors because they're looking at media reports saying ICE are Nazis? No, they're looking at Nazis in masks with absolute immunity, ramming cars, macing babies, fighting with high school kids, shooting women 5 times, murdering women on the street. In other words, they're looking at Fat Fuck Johnny murder a woman at point blank range, which he intended to do before he even stepped up to the car. They're not looking at media reports. They're looking at fat ass Tom Homan and Fat Fuck Johnny capping people in the face. That's why we hate you. That's why you will burn. And that's a promise, son. I know your future. We're certain. Just like I know, Tom, that you took that fat bag of cash. I'm just as certain of both those things. You're going to burn and you took that cash. And there's a tape of it. Okay, this ain't anti-Christy horror movie, The fucking Omen. I don't even know what this... Jesus Christ. Is this a movie? Donnie posted this, reposted it. A guy named Thomas, I guess, posted it originally. That Thomas is probably Donnie. All I see is the devil on this, son. You ready for this? It's got this grainy, like, black and white, like, fucking 70s satanic horror movie, you know? What the fuck? And it just says soon above it. Is this, Donnie, is this like some satanic, like, message, like, inside message between you and Satan and shit? I'm not kidding. I'm seriously asking. Because this is some creepy shit, man. There's no face either. This is some creepy shit. If you expand the picture and look at... Oh my God. I didn't do that yet. Go online. Find this picture. It will be very easy. Expand and look at the face. I feel like I'm in a movie and I'm the investigator and I find this picture, this old picture, and it has a demon face. Like I'm the dude in the movie proving this is the Antichrist or something. Oh my God. I hope they altered this picture to make it do this. Because if this is artifacts and distance doing this, oh my God. It looks like 2 horns above the eyes. The eyes are slightly crooked. One's lower than the other. These 2 kind of bright slits. There's a bright kind of nose. Oh, it just... Ooh, man. I feel like this is a picture from The Omen or something. I am not kidding. what in the fuck? And the second I saw it, I just thought, I was like, what kind of antichrist satanic ass bullshit is this? Like one of those old pictures in The Ring from a distance or something. That grainy black and white The Ring, that movie, I don't know if you saw it. And again, expand and look at the face. You won't be able to see it here. I'll expand it as large as it can go. You won't be able to see it, but the face is horrifying. It looks demonic as fuck. I hope the person made it look like, and this didn't just come out like this. The whole thing, the posture, the grainy black and whiteness, the demon face, just what the fuck is this? Even the bushes or the top of the tree or whatever behind him looks creepy. Man, I'm sorry. I see the devil all over this, son. All fucking, just in the foliage even. What the fuck? Whew. That's some hardcore Satan right there. Look at the picture, see what kind of vibe you get. Look at the face. Holy shit, man. What is cool about, why would you want to repost that? All I see is the devil. It looks creepy as fuck. It looks like from some horror movie from the 70s again. There's some audio that came out with Donnie tonight. Trump on the killing of Renee Good. At a very minimum, that woman was very, very disrespectful to law enforcement, and you heard the same noises. You saw the same crunch that I saw. You can't do that with law enforcement. She didn't do anything with law enforcement. He switched hands with his phone, and he pulled his piece and killed her. Disrespectful to law enforcement. This is what tyrants love. They want you in that place where you're scared to even say anything. And if you're disrespectful in Donnie's mind and in your right-wing cunt's mind, that's why we're here. It's okay to kill. Because they're the people you don't like. I don't care how disrespectful anyone is, and you hypocrites know this, that preach this gospel. I don't care if someone walks up to a law enforcement officer of any kind and says your mother's a fucking whore. He has no right to execute that person. And fuck anyone that says he does. Donnie's saying if you're disrespectful, it's okay to murder you. That's what he's saying here. Remember everything Donnie said when you're watching him burn. And you dare feel the slightest shred of sympathy. Donnie has decided, since his grift is showing more and more by the second, he's going after Big Bad Jerome. I can't believe it. I'm rather surprised by this. Donnie's that desperate. What Jerome did tonight, I guess the head of the Federal Reserve expects us to feel sorry for him now. I can't stress enough how high up the ladder in society the head of the Federal Reserve, and he's been the head for like many administrations at different times. Both sides of the aisle. What I'm trying to say is if Donnie can go after this man, he can go after anybody. You don't really get much higher in society than chairman of the Federal fucking Reserve. Donnie started a case against him for testimony he gave, which is kind of ironic about the renovation of the Federal Reserve, which is kind of ironic because Jerome Powell literally caught Donnie trying to scam an extra bunch of millions of dollars by adding value to the project that didn't exist. Jerome caught him doing it, right on camera. Yet Jerome's the one getting indicted or whatever, investigated. Because Donnie needs to handle the Federal Reserve how he sees fit so his grift doesn't show. But whatever Donnie does, it's only going to help the economy for 5 seconds. So it would be worthless. So Jerome put a video out that basically said, the reason this is happening isn't because of my testimony and an actual legitimate investigation. It's because Donald Trump wants to set monetary policy and he wants me out of the way. He made a video straight up saying it. But again, I mean, what do you people expect from us, Jerome? Do you expect us to feel sorry? Do you expect us to care? Because we've all been suffering this for so long. And now all of a sudden you want to say something when he's coming after you. I wish you would have been more outspoken before, Mr. Powell. And again, all of you out there, no matter what position you have, if he can go after this man and try and take him down, he can go after fucking anyone. You know how powerful this man is? He made a video saying Donnie's coming after me for personal reasons. The head of the Federal Reserve. That's where we at. Donnie again. Have any oil companies made commitments to you? A lot of them, yeah. Has Exxon? No, I didn't like Exxon's response. We have so many that want it. I'd probably be inclined to keep Exxon out. They're playing too cute. No, Exxon said at the fucking table, it's going to take years of changing laws and other investment for us to be even interested. So what it seems has happened is a lot of the oil companies, they're not interested with what's going on down in Venezuela because it will cost them too much money to get it rolling. And profits won't happen for 20 years. They don't like that. They want quick portfolio action now, not 20 years from now. They ain't going to be 20 years from now. So I think Donnie may have gone ahead with this and not really gotten a lot of commitments from oil companies. And now we know why. Once we saw Exxon at the table saying, yeah, we're really not interested right now. We don't want to wait 20 years for a return on our money. Now you know why, class. Donnie Shitbags the other day said that they're going to take your money and reimburse the oil companies whatever they invest, because the oil companies are saying, we're going to have to invest billions. We're not going to see a profit for 20 years. Donnie's like, oh, fuck, my grift is fucked up now. I was hoping to siphon a bunch of money from these motherfuckers. Now they don't want it. They don't want in. Okay, I'll turn to the socialists again. The ones I'm going to lock up. And I'll take their money. And I'll reimburse The oil companies so my grift can go forward. Now you know why Donnie said that. Now you know why Donnie's going to do that. Because none of the oil companies would agree unless you, the socialists, that they vote against, that they lobby against, that Donnie's going to lock up. They wouldn't agree unless you pay for it. Can you fucking believe it? Exxon, Donnie isn't kicking Exxon out. Exxon's saying, we ain't interested, son. Donnie, again, if we don't take Greenland, Russia or China will take Greenland, and I am not going to let that happen one way or the other. We're going to have Greenland again for the 90th time. He's basically saying we're going to take it if we have to. That is not a legitimate argument, Rube. Hypocrite, disingenuous cunt Rubes. Just because a larger country may in the future decide to take Greenland, which no one's really been talking about it, that doesn't mean it's okay for the United States or the Reich to steal it. For them and their friends. You won't see a goddamn dime. You'll pay the bill for it all, and you'll reimburse the mining companies and the oil companies for their investment because you're a dumbass. That's what'll happen. You won't get jack shit out of it, though. You'll pay for it, though. Like a good mark. And Greenlanders, I'm sorry, be prepared. I've known since January he's going to take your country by force. And I don't think anyone's going to stop him. I'd be really surprised if Europe started lobbing missiles or whatever. I'd be real surprised at that. I don't think it'll happen. I could be wrong. Do you plan to seize any oil tankers heading to Cuba? Well, we had a lot of oil people really interested. That means a lot of them weren't interested. That's why he's saying that. You saw that the other day because the room in the White House, we need the ballroom. Actually, we have so many people who want to go in for oil. They don't want to make the investment, though, and they don't want to wait 20 years. So you're going to pay for it. Even then, a lot of them don't. They don't want to wait 20 years for a return. That's not what they're looking for. So Donnie's got a little problem. It seems even with the reimbursement promises, you paying for it, even that's not good enough for a lot of the companies. Trump on Greenland, if it affects NATO, it affects NATO, but they need us much more than we need them. We're talking about acquiring Greenland, not leasing, not having it short term. We're talking about acquiring, annexing. That's also what it's called. Again, all the modern corporate code speak, cover up speak, synonyms. It's called annexation. It's called stealing another country's land and resources. Literally, I don't care how many words they slap on it in 2026 that aren't annexation. That's what it is. That's what Donnie's literally saying. We're not renting, we're buying. We're not buying, we're taking. And the U.S. taxpayer is going to pay for it again and reimburse the companies that mine, drill, whatever, again. That's what's going to happen. Already done once in Venezuela. Trump, Greenland, basically, they're... Greenland, basically, their defense is 2 dog sleds. You know what their defense is? 2 dog sleds, says the little child with a shitty diaper. Because Greenland is a very cold climate, not a lot of people can handle living there. There's not that many people that live there. They're a small, peaceful country. Well, we should make fun of them and we should take our military and go take it, right? And then laugh about it. and say, yeah, they only got 2 dog sleds. They can't take us on. We're just going to take it. That's why you go into the lake, son, along with your fat orange messiah. Do I have a right to take your property? No. America doesn't have the right to take Greenland. That's simple. Annexation. Adolf Hitler shit. Literally. Already did it once in Venezuela. That's after murdering over 100 people, killing 80 more on land. Okay, we're at the end, and this proves what I'm saying, annexation. That was always the plan. Donnie, the little child, who you thought was a good idea to give the keys to the nuclear football and the car and the house and everything. He's so impressed with himself that he posted, it looks like a Wikipedia entry, acting president of Venezuela, incumbent January 2026, 45th and 47th president of the United States, acting president of Venezuela. Donnie posted this. I shouldn't have to say this, but yes, the annexation talk was always real. Yes, he just annexed Venezuela. Yes, he's already stolen millions of gallons of oil from them. He's about to do it to Cuba, Colombia, Mexico, take Greenland, eventually maybe take Canada, if it gets that far. A beast, unstoppable, untamable, unleashable, be ye voter, cabinet member who thinks he has him under control, Vlad Putin who thinks he has him under control, Bibi Netanyahu, Leon Scum, Peter Thiel, whoever you are, if you think you're going to take over, you're wrong. You don't have the blessing. Sorry. If you think you got him on a leash, you're wrong. If you think concentration camps, mass Gestapo, kidnapping and murdering people and attempting to murder people, if you think your military deployed against you, if you think annexation, if you think subjugation, if you think all that's good, you're wrong. If you think none of it's going to touch you, you're wrong. If you think this thing is not the Antichrist, you are wrong. How do I know? Acting president of Venezuela posted by the Antichrist. He will offer the mark in the next few years, I assume. You cannot take it. If you do, it will be your last moment as a redeemable entity. Once you take that vow, take that mark, you are now irredeemable, destined for the lake, guaranteed. There's no escape from it. Whatever happens to you as a result of not taking the mark will be worth going through in comparison. Read the end portion of Revelation. What happens to those who take the mark? That is you. That's what will happen to you. Those who do not take the mark, you may die, you may get persecuted, you will rise again, and that is guaranteed. And you will have rest, and you will have eternal life, and boy, will God be impressed with you. For I assume most will take it. And it will take tremendous will, courage, faith, etc. to not take it. be ye Christian or not. That act alone would impress God, I'm sure. Because it would be very easy as a human in this shitty paradigm, when they go to pass that mark out and make you take that vow, it would be very easy to just go along, wouldn't it? And we humans are used to going along rather than facing the persecution or the fight. And that's what the devil banking on. With you, specifically. So for one, to be Christ-like and say, no, I'll go to my cross, I'll face that persecution, I'll die for God if I have to. Rather than renounce and literally worship the devil. That's what's being asked of you. So I assume God would be rather impressed with you if you say no, because most humans will do what humans do. Well, you go along. You got to pay your rent, right? You got to eat, right? You got to do this, do that. Got to go along with, conform to society, right? You don't want to rock the boat, right? What if the boat's a Nazi boat with Adolf Hitler in it? You still would not want to rock it? What if the boats take the mark and worship Satan? Or die? Most important choice of your life. Make the right one. Because what you'll face if you take it, it's indescribable. You don't want that. One more time, the President of the United States, which is embarrassing and a shame for us, but posting himself as the leader of Venezuela, celebrating it, because to him, it's a big deal and it's really cool. This should horrify you. We are a Reich now. Donnie will continue this. And there's nothing we can do about it. Because the only people that stop it are going to be the hand of it. Or excuse me, the only people that could stop it are literally the hand of it, and they're going to go along. They are going along. I wish I had something positive to say. If you don't take the mark, you don't have to go to the lake. That's positive. I think. Have a wonderful evening.